half of all marriages end in divorce. And that's not bad statistics when you consider the other half ends in death. Well, that's kind of a humorous way to look at the sad state of marriages today. The reality is that divorce is plaguing our society, ruining our children's lives, and it's leading us far away from that blessed relationship that God has designed for us in marriage. 50% of all marriages will end in divorce. There are many documented cases of the negative impacts that divorce has on children. 50% of all children by the age of 18 will see divorce in their home. Lower overall grades are expected for children of divorced parents. Children of divorced parents are 3 times more likely to need psychological help. 50% higher health risk than kids that are not from divorced homes. 2 times recorded more suicide attempts in children from broken homes. 2 times more dropouts from kids that are from broken homes. And 70% of all long-term prison sentences are on children that come from broken homes. Now, more staggering than that, it's reported that children from a female-headed home only are 10 times more likely to experience a beating or even murder. And in most statistics, in most cases of children, 6 years after the breakup, there's still reported anxieties, insecurities, and unhappiness among those children that have experienced a breakup in their home. A friend of mine told me the other day that after 35 years of marriage, he is planning on divorcing his wife who's been unfaithful to him. 35 years. How does that happen? It doesn't just occur in short-term marriages. It happens in marriages that are 10 years old, 20 years, and even in my friend's case, 35 years. Now, there's many reasons given. People have all kinds of excuses of why they want to get a divorce. To name a few: lack of commitment, lack of communication, infidelity, abuse, personal differences or irreconcilable differences, differences in personal and career goals, financial problems, difference in expectations about the responsibilities, the roles in the home, lack of maturity, sexual incompatibility, cultural and lifestyle differences, and that's just to name a few. But in all the excuses, I believe that there's a much deeper problem, and that problem is rooted in selfishness. People are marrying, divorcing, and living to satisfy their own selfish and lustful desires, and that is the cause, the main cause of divorce today. Now, I want to read you from the Bible what God says is His plan, His design. Genesis chapter 2 and verse 18. And the Lord God said, "It is not good that man should be alone. I will make him an helpmeet for him." Verse 21. And the Lord God caused a deep sleep to fall upon Adam, and he slept. And he took one of his ribs and closed up the flesh instead thereof. And the rib which the Lord God had taken from man made he a woman, and brought her unto Adam. And Adam said, "This is now bone of my bones and flesh of my flesh. She shall be called woman, because she was taken out of man. Therefore shall a man leave his father and his mother, and shall cleave unto his wife, and they shall be one flesh. And they were both naked, the man and his wife, and were not ashamed." These scriptures teach us that God is the authority for and in our marriage. And in it He has designed a unity and intimacy for each of us to experience with a companion. And only in accordance to His authority and following His plan can men and women succeed and find real joy in a lasting marriage. By His authority, He established the rule and role in marriages and gave the greatest example of the foundation for marriage. In establishing that rule of marriage, God defined marriage as the joining together of two people for the specific purpose of not only companionship, but to multiply and make children. And it's more than a law. It's a plan for one man and one woman to join together, and the fruit of that is a child. It was designed that way. By nature, it's the only way that children can be made. And God also established organization and order by designing roles in the marriage. And the summary of His instruction found in the New Testament book of Ephesians was that each person was to submit to that order, not to each other and to that order, not out of a command, but by love and because of love. The foundation of marriage, he describes for us, was that committed love. Paul described that in the book of Ephesians also, and he describes it as an unselfish and sacrificial love. His example was when he said, even as Christ loved the church and gave Himself for it. That example was the greatest example of love that the world has ever known. And that's the kind of love that God has designed for us in our marriage, a sacrificial love. Now, God teaches us about unity in these scriptures when He said, they two shall be one flesh. No longer will the husband and wife live unto themselves, but now unto each other. They not only live with each other, but literally they are to live for each other and by each other. And many problems in today's marriage are related to one of the spouse or even both of the spouses living a separate life. Each has their own profession. Each has their own set of friends, their own checking accounts. And it's not difficult to understand that with this type of arrangement, soon each has their own way and each goes their own way. God's plan was to join them together. One in purpose, one in direction, one in goals, and one in that unselfish, committed love. Now, God also teaches us intimacy in these scriptures we found in Genesis. This is the part where many troubles set in. When God said they were naked and unashamed, He shows that there's nothing to be hidden between the husband and wife. They would be innocent towards each other. A marriage cannot enjoy this intimacy if shared with someone else outside of that union. If shame and guilt invades that relationship, it almost always will end by that relationship being severed in what we call divorce. And that's not according to God's plan. God's plan was for the two to be together, alone, intimately connected. In conclusion, marriage was designed to be a blessing by God, and marriage was designed to enjoy children and to properly raise them. Don't go the world's way. Don't become a sad statistic and make your children the victim of your bad decisions. Make your marriage fit God's design. You will experience the benefits and blessings that He has planned for you in that design. Your children will experience your love, and they too will learn how to share that same love and to give it out. One of the greatest blessings in my life, in my own life, is the fact that my parents were committed to each other. They weren't wealthy in money. They were rich in love. Because of their commitment to each other and to their children, to their home, I knew they loved me. They made a good home. They gave me the security of knowing that no matter how bad I messed up in this world, I would always have a home to go back to. I always knew that I could run back home. A home base. A place to be cared for. And a place to be loved. because of their commitment. I thank God for my parents that were committed in their marriage according to His design. And I encourage all of you to seek His Word and His way to bless your marriage and to bless your children. Thank you.